My question to you is, who are some of the folks that you look to as mentors that have really kind of positioned you in the right way when you have a question? Are there any mentors out there that have really kind of showed you the way?
Yeah, I'm so old now that most of them have died. But no, it's interesting where I find the most help isn't in necessarily me reaching out asking. It is when people like you come to me and ask me a question. That to me helps me formulate an answer that I may or may not have thought of in the past. And so I get a lot of that. Part of the reason I like mentoring young technology executives is because the questions that they bring are thought processes that are different than the way I look at things. And they help me formulate a response to talk to somebody who doesn't have the experience I do and give it to them in the manner they may be able to understand. And so I get a lot of, I was part of the CIO Executive Council for a number of years. And one of the things I did was I was part of a group that was grooming CIOs, the upcoming CIOs. And to me, listening to them continually helps me grow the way I do things, because just as sports coaches are having more and more challenges dealing with the current crop of athletes because they're not the same as when you played or when I played, it's a different mentality. They have to adapt and learn. And that's what I found for myself is being cognizant of that point of view and then trying to adjust my thought process to deal with that. So, for instance, you've known me a very long time. I am not a very politically correct guy.
Thank God.
Yes, but I also understand that I can't just be the ogre. I have to take into consideration some of this stuff. Millennials are a unique group, to deal with. But instead of fighting it and just being the old crotchety son of a bitch and say, damn millennials, I need to deal with them. I need to be able to figure out how to communicate with them. So those kinds of things help me be better at what I do.
Well, that's an interesting observation. I'm glad that you said that, because nobody has answered it that way before. And I think back to my 12-step program that I go through to stay sober every day, which is a huge part of my life. I have learned more from working with people who are coming up through the system who are trying to get sober, with them asking me questions, because like you said, it comes from a whole different mindset than the mindset I'm in that day. And while I'm trying to help that person, it helps me out so much more than they could ever realize, to keep me on my path. So it's really interesting you brought that up, because it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, I understand that, and it's funny because sometimes those questions help me more than I help them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at that and it will just give me a whole different light to solve a problem or to deal with a personal issue or something like that. And I'm thrilled to be able to have that outlet from either my staff or my peers, at work. And so I look at that as I'm really lucky to be able to have those kinds of that kind of feedback to help me be better.